Hi, welcome back to YouTube Learning once again, children. In the previous videos we have been discussing about the lesson energy, is it not? Where we have learnt about the concept of work done and also potential energy. In my previous video, I had defined what is kinetic energy and the mathematical expression for kinetic energy. Now, here you have to remember, kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. And this kinetic energy mainly depends on two factors. Now, which are those two factors on which kinetic energy depends? Kinetic energy depends on mass of the body. Okay, it depends on mass of the body. The more is the mass of the body, the more is the kinetic energy possessed by it. So, as the mass of the body increases, body means here I am trying to tell you about the moving body, because only moving body has got kinetic energy. As the mass of the moving body increases, then what happens? The kinetic energy of the moving body also increases. And second factor is what? It is the speed of the moving body. So as the speed of the moving body increases, its kinetic energy also increases. So remember, if mass increases, then kinetic energy of the moving body also increases. Upward arrow mark shows if one quantity is increasing, another quantity is also increasing. Now, if the speed of the body increases, then even the kinetic energy possessed by the body will increase. Okay. So based on these two factors, in the last video, we have learned about the mathematical expression of kinetic energy. So, what will be the mathematical expression of kinetic energy? Ke is equal to half mv square. Now, here you should note that we are taking the square of the speed. Now, speed in a particular direction is called a velocity. So, you have to consider the product of mass and square of the velocity. Half mv square is the mathematical expression for kinetic energy. And of course, the standard units for kinetic energy will remain joules only. Okay. So, this is about the factors on which kinetic energy depends and also the mathematical expression. And you need not worry about the derivation of this kinetic energy because it is not there in the scope of your syllabus. As you go to higher classes, like in 10th standard, you will learn how to derive this expression for kinetic energy. For now, you just remember the formula to calculate the kinetic energy of a moving body. Okay. Now, coming to some examples of a moving body, I have written here some 5 examples. An arrow shot from a bow. So, when the arrow is traveling, when it is shot from the bow, the moving arrow will possess what type of energy? Kinetic energy. Okay. Now, flowing water. The water which is flowing also will have kinetic energy. Blowing wind also has kinetic energy. A speeding car and a running train, all these will have kinetic energy. Remember, when the body is at rest, then it will possess potential energy. When the same body starts moving, then its potential energy starts getting converted to kinetic energy. So here, water which is stored in a dam will have potential energy, whereas flowing water will have kinetic energy. Okay, so these are some of the examples of kinetic energy. Make a note of this, children. And don't forget to remember the mathematical expression for kinetic energy. Now, after having the concept of kinetic energy in our minds, we shall proceed to solve some problems on kinetic energy. Now, I have a problem here. A bicycle rider along with his bicycle has a mass of 80 kg. Okay. So, solution. We have a bicycle rider along with his bicycle. How much he weighs? His mass is equal to 80 kg. And he is pedaling the bicycle at a constant speed of 8 meters per second. So, what is the speed or velocity? Here it is 8 meters per second. Now we have to calculate what is the amount of energy possessed by the system. So we have to calculate the kinetic energy. Coming to the expression of kinetic energy, K is equal to half mv square is equal to, right, half multiplied by, what is the mass? It is 80 kg multiplied by h square, square of the velocity or square of the speed. Now, let's simplify these things. Kinetic energy will be equal to, now here h square is 64, right, 64 into 40. It will come to 2560 joules. So this is the kinetic energy possessed by the system. Okay. So don't always remember, whenever a problem is given for you, write the data along with the correct units. Check whether the units are in the same system or not. Sometimes mass may be in grams. Okay. Then you have to convert to kg. Sometimes the velocity can be in centimeter per second also. Then you have to convert to meter per second. After ensuring that all the units are in the same system, then write the formula, substitute the values, simplify and write the answer with the units. Okay. Copy the solution. We shall take the second problem now. 40 kg of water flows out of a tap, at the uniform speed of 1 meter per second. Calculate the amount of energy possessed by the water. Okay, the problem is very simple. 40 kg of water. The mass of the water is given as 40 kg, right? And that water is moving at a uniform speed of 5 meter per second. Okay. Calculate the amount of energy possessed by the water. So kinetic energy will be equal to half mv square, that is equal to half multiplied by 40 multiplied by 5 square, right? Now just simplify. 5 square is 25. 25 2 times is 50. So kinetic energy will be equal to 500 joules. So this is the energy possessed by the flowing water, which is moving at a constant speed of 5 meter per second.
ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಾಟಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಯ್ತು ಮೇಡಮ್. ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಂ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಇವಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಲ?
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್,
ಅದು ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. Okay children, some 2 problems I have solved. One more problem I would like to give as a homework for you. Please solve this problem. Homework. Third problem. A train of mass 100 tons is moving with a uniform speed of 2 meters per second, calculate the amount of energy possessed by the train. Now here, just note, the mass is not given in kilograms, it is given in tons, right? And uniform speed, how much is given? 2 meters per second. Here you have to take the conversion. So I am giving the hint for you. Take 1 ton is equal to 1000 kg. Take 1 ton is equal to 1000 kg and try to solve this problem. Okay. So this is for homework. Now next question we shall take, where we have to classify the given examples as potential or kinetic energy or both. State the kind of energy potential energy or kinetic energy or both. Okay. In case of the following. You have to state whether the given statement is an example for potential energy, kinetic energy or both. First one is a stone resting on the top of a hill. So already we have learnt about potential energy, right? It is the energy possessed by the body by virtue of its position or configuration. So here the body, that is the stone, is resting. It is at rest. So what type of energy it will possess, children? It will possess potential energy. Okay. Just mention the type of energy possessed by the body. Next, second one. Water stored in a reservoir or a dam. So again the water is not flowing, it is at rest. So what is the energy possessed by the water here? Again it is potential energy. Now third one. A flying mosquito. Yes, flying mosquito. Now whether you take a flying mosquito, a flying bird or a flying aeroplane, then what happens? The body will be flying at a certain height from the ground level. Is it not? So when discussing about potential energy, I have told you about two types of potential energy. One is gravitational potential energy and the other is elastic potential energy. Here, the body which is flying is at a certain height from the ground level. So because of its height, what type of energy it will possess? It will possess gravitational potential energy, or you can tell potential energy. And because the object is flying, whether it is a bird, aeroplane or a mosquito or any insect, it is in flying state, and because it is moving, it will possess kinetic energy also. So such examples if you come across, then you should remember that the body will possess both potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay. So once again I will repeat. If the body is flying at a certain height, then because of the height from the ground, it will possess potential energy, and because it is already moving, then it will possess kinetic energy also. So such examples you should mention. The body will possess both potential and kinetic energies. Okay. Next, last example we shall take. A bullet fired from a gun. A bullet fired from a before you just release the pistol, is it not? Then the bullet will be in rest. It will have potential energy. Once the bullet is fired from the gun, when you press the trigger of the gun, then what happens? The bullet starts moving, and what type of energy it will possess? It will possess kinetic energy. So like this, learn to classify the given statements into potential and kinetic energies. Of course, you have ample examples in the textbook where you can get a clear idea of whether the body is possessing potential energy and kinetic energy. So in our next video, we shall learn about the various forms of energy and how energy can be transformed from one form to the other. Now here also in these cases, once the body is at rest, it will have potential energy. The same body starts moving, then potential energy changes to kinetic energy. So any form of energy can be converted from one form to the other form, which we call it as transformation of energy. So in our next video, we shall learn about the various forms of energy and transformation of energy from one form to the other form. Thank you, children.